Hi, I'm Julie Laing. I am the author of the food blog Twice as Tasty and also of the cookbook, The Complete Guide to Pickling. And today I'm going to be sharing one of the recipes from that cookbook for quick pickles. I call it spring asparagus. You can make it any time of year and with a different variety of ingredients, which I will explain to you as we get to that point. But as a quick pickle, what we're going to do first is make it quick, easy, fast. We're going to start off with our brine. Brine, in this case, we're making equal parts water and vinegar. The vinegar is a white wine vinegar with a 5% acidity. And we're going to put that into our pot. We're adding 1.5 cups of that vinegar. We're also going to add the same volume of water. Non-chlorinated water is going to make you better pickles in all instances, even with a quick pickle. And by doing equal ratios of water and vinegar, we're going to have a good pickling balance that also safely pickles our food. So we're going to give that guy a little heat here. And part of the reason we're giving it a little heat is so that we can add our sugar, a little bit of sugar in this recipe, and our salt. In this case, I'm adding a Morton pickling salt. And with the heat, those will dissolve even faster than we would if we were to just stir them. The other reason that we're going to heat up this brine is with something like asparagus that's really tough compared to some other vegetables, really thick and dense. It'll break it down faster, which is especially important with a quick pickle. You want it to pickle quickly, ideally. So we're going to get this brine warm and heated up there to dissolve our sugar and salt and pickle our asparagus. The third thing it's going to do for us by having warm brine is we're going to put in some whole spices, and that heat will help them infuse better into the brine. We're going to do that as soon as this liquid comes to a boil. So now that we've got our brine at a full boil, you can see it's fully dissolved the salt and the sugar. We can go ahead and turn that heat off, but while it's still super hot, we're going to add our aromatics. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of black peppercorns. I'm going to do the same with some mustard seed. And I'm going to use, you can use a little bit of chili flake or dried chilies. These are my favorite. We home smoke our own dried chilies, give them a lovely flavor, crumble a little of those in there. And then we're going to let that just sit here off of the heat, let the flavors infuse for about 5 minutes. And then we can go ahead and put it together with the food we're actually pickling, in this case, our asparagus spears. While you might be used to thinking of pickles as something that's always done in a jar, with a quick pickle, you don't necessarily have to. This large glass container is going to be great for our quick pickled asparagus. We've cut the asparagus to a length that'll fit inside there, which is really all you need. So if you have a longer, wider, or a longer, flatter container that's not nearly as wide, you can go even longer on your asparagus spears. We're going to add our asparagus spears to the container, and as you can see, they're going to kind of need to be maneuvered around in there with the round container and the long asparagus. I'm also going to put in a couple of scallions, green onions. You can use walking onions in the spring as one of my preferred options. I'll also in the spring do my early spring garlic and do it long cuts. It's going to look a lot like this going into my container. Tuck those guys in there as well. Since we aren't in spring and we've just got our out-of-season garlic and our whole head of garlic, I've gone ahead and minced that. But like I said, if you use spring garlic, you can just add a section in there like you normally would to add your scallions and garlic in the same way. Once we've got our garlic in there, then we can pour over our brine. It's still quite warm because it's only sat for 5 minutes, but that 5-minute window is let you infuse these flavors in here. We're going to go ahead and just pour it right over the top. If you have purple asparagus, it pickles up beautifully, but it will lose some of its color into the brine. Grab out the last little bit of goodness here. And as you can see, we've got just about enough brine in this container to cover our spears here, which is exactly what we're after. Now, quick pickles, in my definition, can be anywhere from 30 minutes, even 10 minutes for a sumanoma pickle, to up to several hours. In this case, with asparagus spears, they're so thick and dense, you want them sit for about an hour or two before you start to eat them, but then they're going to be totally ready to go. If you're going to keep them in the refrigerator for a long time, you can strain all these spices out of there after they've infused in their brine and then they won't get too overpowering as they sit in there, because they will keep for several months this way in the fridge. As soon as they've cooled down enough, pop on the lid, and you're set to go. Those are our spring asparagus or quick asparagus pickles from the Complete Guide to Pickling. I'm Julie Laing with Twice as Tasty. Thanks so much.